Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So the second movie, Avatar: The Way of the Water, just came out, and when I tell you that it is so beautiful, James Cameron did an amazing job. It just came out this weekend, and it is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous movie. The cinematography was top tier. It was really long. It was over 3 hours long, and I remember the first one being long, but maybe because it's it's been so long, and I saw the first one when I was like a kid, and so now that I'm a little bit older, I just remember thinking, okay, this is Titanic long. So, but anyway, it was worth it in the end to bring you guys my thoughts. So please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And let's get into the movie. So, The Way of the Water, like I said, this was opening weekend, and it has been able to pull in about 53 million on Friday. It's only Saturday, so it's still, we're waiting, to see how much it's going to bring in. But I will say I found out that it's the sixth biggest domestic opening day of 2022, and it's on track to make between 130 to 150 million dollars in the domestic box office. So that's amazing. However, it cost 350 million to make it. Now, I didn't realize before researching that it costs so much to make this movie. Maybe that's why it took so long for the sequel to come out. But what I will say is that, again, I think it was worth it. I don't know. I've never had $350 million. But it was a beautiful movie. And again, that's a really impressive budget. But a lot of people are saying, a lot of film critics and people in Hollywood are saying that while that is impressive, the projections are not where they thought it would be. So they don't know if it's going to even break even. That's rough. Like, that's really harsh. But you have to take into consideration, like inflation, it's Christmas time, and it's been really difficult since COVID, and prices and everything are, is going up, and there's been layoffs. And so people just don't have the sort of income that they had when the first one came out and the economy was doing a lot better. So they have to take that into consideration. But James Cameron said that he has at least three more movies with the Avatar series. If this one does well, then he'll continue to make them, right? So if it's not broke, don't fix it. So we have to wait and see if Warner Brothers is going to greenlight more movies in the future. But let's get into the plot of this gorgeous movie. So, as I said, it was, of course, directed by James Cameron, and it was co-written by Rick Hoffa and Amanda Silver. And the cast this time, they brought back Zoe Saldana and James Worthington, Stephen Lang, Joel David Moore, CCH Pounder, Giovanni Ribisi, Dilip Rayo, and Matt Gerald from the original film. I loved Zoe in the last one. She was great. And then Sigourney Weaver returns, but in a different role. So I'll let you guys figure that out. And then the new cast members this time are Kate Winslet, Cliff Curtis, Eddie Falco, and Jermaine Clement. So in this film, of course, Jake Sully, the character played by Worthington, explores the oceans in Pandora, and he meets the clan. And so he's raising his family with Neytiri, who they have their sons. I'm not going to be able to say their names right, so I'm not going to try, but I know their daughter, Tuck, is so cute. And adopted daughter, Kiri. They were amazing in the film, in the movie. And there's a human boy named Spider, who is the son of Colonel Miles Quantridge, who was born in Pandora and was unable to be transported to Earth in the cryostasis. So similar to the last movie, right? It was the avatars, the native people versus the human colonizers. And of course, James Cameron talked all about how this is very like much an allegory and a simile to colonization throughout the world, especially with native indigenous peoples all around the world, whether it's in here in North America, the Aborigines in Australia, native populations throughout. Okay, so the humans return to Pandora to try to colonize it, and they're erecting a new operating base called Bridgehead City. So the new arrivals come, and Jake rises up and he leads his army against them. Okay, so what ends up happening is they end up taking Jake's children captive. And okay, and so Quantridge also takes back his son Spider. Now remember, Spider was being raised by Sully and Neytiri, and which is played by the Avatars, Worthington and Zoe Saldana. Okay, but so Spider is the human boy, and he ends up being captive along with everyone else, even though he was being raised by the natives. And so he ends up learning that, you know, that's his human dad. So he starts teaching his dad, the colonizers and his army, about the avatars, the native, their people, their culture, in order to, you know, try to soften his dad, who is the captain colonel of this army. And he's really trying to teach him empathy and soften his heart towards colonizing the native avatars. Okay, so once Jake Sully realizes that Spider has been taken, he realizes that his own family, his own way of life is in danger because Spider is human and he's going to teach the humans their way of life. So he ends up exiling himself to protect his family. What a great guy. And the family ends up learning the ways of the reef people. And so Kiri develops a spiritual bond with the sea and the creatures. And of course, they run into another obstacle in the form of something in the sea. So there's another adversarial thing that they have to overcome in addition to the human colonizers, okay? I don't want to give any spoilers, so I want to give you guys just enough to kind of whet your appetite. You have over 3 hours to burn watching this movie, okay? But it is a really good movie. So what ends up happening is just basically without giving away spoilers, because like I said, it's a great film, but I don't want to ruin it for you. It's the age-old story of protecting your kingdom and men going to war over their families, their love, their land throughout time, okay? So this is no different. And so they end up, of course, Jake ends up facing his own personal demons as well as the foreign adversaries in the colonizers. And so I'm going to let you guys watch the movie for yourselves to figure out who is triumphant, which one do you kind of side with, what ends up happening to Spider, and what ends up happening to the children who were taken captive. I think this movie is really good just because, again, those themes are so central to history repeating itself. And it's the foundation of so many wars that have been fought throughout the world. But I love the way that James Cameron uses the avatars, the blue. He's received some backlash and some criticism too in regards to natives. So I want to respect them and their culture as well. But if you do have a chance to see this movie, not, whether it's this weekend or sometime during the holiday season, drop down in the comments and let me know your thoughts. Please, again, like, share, and subscribe. And I will talk with you lovely people later. Take care. Bye.